Hi guys, I'm Joey, the quarantine cook. Today I'm making Mama's banana split cake, and it's my favorite. You're gonna love it. For this dessert, you're gonna have a crust, and then you're gonna have the filling mix. So we'll start with the crust. For the crust, you're gonna need honey-made graham crackers, or you can just buy the graham cracker crumbs if you want to. But I like crushing them up. We're going to start by crushing our graham crackers, which I've put into a ziplock bag. Make sure you get the air out, seal it up, because you don't want graham crackers going everywhere. Look like New Year's Eve. Just crush them up. And once you get them down to a nice little consistency, you might take something heavy and just crush them the rest of the way. You want to make them into crumbs. It's a good way to take out your frustration, that's for sure. Perfect. Okay. Alright, I've already preheated the oven to 375. My butter's almost melted. As soon as that finishes, then we're going to mix this crust up. Before you put all your graham crackers into your crust, you're going to take about a handful of those and you're going to set them in a bowl to the side. Okay, our butter is melted, so we're going to take our graham crackers, which I've crushed up here, and throw them in our mixing bowl. And half cup of sugar, and our melted butter. Mix this together really well. You want it to get saturated with the butter and the sugar mixture. Now, I'm going to take a potato masher just to get these graham crackers crushed the rest of the way. Because you got to bake it into an actual crust for about 5 minutes. All right, I'm going to take a stick of butter, and you want to grease the bottom of your baking pan. Your graham cracker crust doesn't stick to the bottom. You don't want that. All right, that's good. Now we're just going to take our mixture, dump it in. And spread it out evenly over the whole bottom of the pan. Okay, sometimes it takes a few minutes, but you're going to take your fork and mash it down into a crust. Take your crust, put it in your preheated oven for 5 to 6 minutes. Now we're going to start on the filling for your cake. You're going to take two 12-ounce packets of Philadelphia cream cheese, dump them into a mixing bowl, and you're going to add a half cup sugar. You can add a little bit more if you want to, depending on how sweet you want it. It's going to be pretty sweet with all the fruit and stuff anyway. But, you know, I usually use half a cup of sugar in mine. We went to the store today to get all of the stuff for this cake, and man, there's a bunch of timid cat burglars running around. Everybody had their bandanas and their masks on. You know, kind of leery of being anywhere near you. We're going to take half a cup of sugar, mix it in with our cream cheese. I'm going to fold this in so that it didn't go flying everywhere initially. And we're going to mix it up really well. My cream cheese is nice and soft, so that's really good. That's perfect. Oh, this is great. This is already soft. cracker crust is golden brown. Now, always make sure your burners are off before you set a Pyrex dish on top. I know that from experience. We're gonna let this cool for 5 to 6 minutes. While my graham cracker crust is cooling down, I'm gonna go ahead and cut up my bananas and open up my can of crushed pineapple and my can of cherry pie filling and have those ready so that we can get this thing finished. You're going to take your banana, you're going to slice it down the middle like so, and you're going to make it into about 3 even slices because we're going to layer that. I feel like a monkey doing this. Monkeys never had it so good though. Ready? Okay, with your crushed pineapple, you just want to make sure you drain all the juice out that you can, because you don't want it to be too liquefied on top of your cake. That's good. I'm just making sure my whipped topping is whipped enough. We're going to set this over to the side and we'll finish our filling. So our graham cracker crust has cooled off and we're just going to kind of spoon this over the top here very carefully because, you know, so just lightly layer it in to begin with so you don't mess your crust up because it can come apart really easily. Spoon the rest of this. There. Now just even it out over the whole bottom. I want to cover the whole pan. Once you've got the filling over the whole pan, you're going to take your sliced bananas and lay them long ways, like so. Keep it apart a little bit. It's okay though. Getting the last couple bananas on there. Now we're going to take our crushed pineapple, which has been drained, and you're going to layer that over the top of your bananas. And I have been told I'm bananas, so, you know. Make sure you cover the whole thing once again. Now we're going to take our cherry pie filling. And I love this brand, Comstock. This is the one Mom used and this is the one I'm using. take our whipped cream and top it off. Dollop some there. And once again, you want to make sure you cover the whole cake, because this is what's going to make it look nice. Almost there. Yum, yum, yum. Just give it a few swirls. Now we're going to take our Marciano cherries and we're going to do 4 rows of 3 across. And hopefully not get cherry juice all over us. Right, 2 more over there. Okay, that one has an extra stem attached to it. Lid back on these. Okay, and lastly, we're going to take the graham cracker crumbs that we put to the side before we made our crust, and we're going to decorate the top of this thing. It looks like it snowed all over it. Just kind of sprinkle it over the top of your cake. You can make this as thick as you want, depending on how graham crackery you want it. All right, there, that's perfect. Done with that. And voila. Now we're gonna let this sit in the refrigerator, if we can, for 2 hours, and then we're gonna serve it. I'm Joey, the Quarantine Cook. See you next time.